Hello again, Robert Carr here from Intuitive Healing, video number 6. And the subject for today's video is absent healing, and I'm also going to include animals in today's minority. Absent healing is also referred to as distance healing and remote healing. And this is when it is difficult for a client to visit me. It's a very little strange thing, bear with us. When we heal, me and my guides, we work together. We are a team. Sometimes people cannot make that journey to be here in person. And this is where distance, absent or remote healing can come in. So me and my guides make a connection with that person. Sometimes it's down the phone. I have done it for entertainment over Facebook Messenger. Me and a lad in Florida did it as a laugh just to see if it would work, and it did. But generally speaking, a phone conversation will take place, and instead of me channeling my guides and channeling that energy, I ask that energy to go to that person. Energy is universal, so distance doesn't matter. Distance makes no difference. We've sent healing to Florida in America, we've sent it to Greece, we've sent it to Australia. This very morning, I sent it to a lady in Australia via phone. So you kind of make that connection, tell them what's going to happen, ask them to go and lie down in a nice quiet space, bit of music, and the healing will happen to them. But because I'm not part of that equation, and only half of the team is in attendance, as it were, absent healing is only 50% effective. So you need twice as many. Therefore, the price is halved. With absent healing, we tend to wait till all the sessions are finished, and then if we're happy, then we'll charge. If all the sessions and we're not happy, we don't charge. It's a weird little thing. I know healing in general is very, very strange, but absent healing is perhaps one of the strangest parts of it, but it does genuinely work. My friend in Florida hurt himself on his motorbike, and he got a lot of absent healing. It didn't help him with his ailment, but did help him mentally and emotionally and spiritually come to terms with what had happened to him. That's about it, really. It's that's how it works. It's a difficult concept to kind of explain, but it's not a complicated one. We make contact, we send that healing happens, it's 50% efficient, and then it's done and dusted. And that's why I've included animals in this video, because it'd been a very short video if it was just about absent healing. As well as healing people and spaces and houses and various other things, we as healers can heal animals. Some people make it a specialist subject and they purely do animal healing, but I'll heal anybody, anywhere, anytime, anything. Healing is healing. It works on every living creature, including plants, but the feedback from plants is a bit pants, really. It's strange when you're healing human beings. Obviously, they can speak to you and say, "Oh, I felt heavy, I felt cold, I felt pins and needles, I feel a bit lightheaded, I feel a bit strange, etc., etc." Fantastic. But with animals, it's kind of, you've got to rely on the owner to give you feedback as to whether or not it's worked. Sometimes it's obvious it's working when you're dealing with animals. From my perspective, 32 years on a fire engine, boy with some of my stories, I dealt a lot with animal rescues. And Clarky off my watch used to call me the dog whisperer, because every time there was any animals to be sorted out, I was always pushed front and centre. And it's a lot easier to rescue an animal if you give it a little bit of healing. And I didn't have to concentrate when I was at work. I automatically just went into healing zone. When I'm doing it kind of at home, when I've got clients coming to see us, I have a little rhythm that I get into and a little thought process. But when you're at work, bang, it always just appeared. So it's a lot easier to rescue a calm animal than it is an irate one. So I was always pushed to the front. Works on humans as well, by the way. Lots of times when you're cutting people out of cars and they're getting stressed and they're getting irate and they're panicking, I used to always try and be casually handled it, put my hands on them, calm them down, calm their heart rate, calm their breathing, put them into a relaxed state, which is what healing does anyway. And it's a lot easier to chop a person out of a car if they're chilled than it is somebody who isn't. And it's the same with animals. So I always used to get pushed front and centre, animal rescues. Done a lot of healing on a lot of animals, both in my job as a firefighter and in my job as a healer. Horses, I've done a few horses. One was a 3-day eventer, giant thing called William of Orange III. I've never seen a horse so big. Cats, dogs, rabbits. Strange enough, I even had the dolphin once. We rescued a dolphin that had been washed up on the beach. We made it a nice little swimming pool, filled it half full of water, and I give it some healing while we wait from the people come from Whitby to rescue it. So I've healed a fish, strange enough. Random. So sometimes it's obvious when you're healing an animal. I used to do my bulldogs. We used to rescue and foster bulldogs. So we'd get like bulldogs in who had been overbred, badly abused, undernourished, treated badly. And the healing used to help them recover and come out of themselves. From my personal perspective, I used to have 2 bulldogs called Molly and Tad. And if I gave them healing, generally speaking, they just go into the deepest sleep for about 3 hours. And you'd lose them. And that's how it worked on them. Just really, really deep, wonderful sleep. So animals take to it very well. They don't have any fears of it. When you're healing a human, they're like, some are skeptical, some are religious, some don't believe in what you do, some are like scared of what you do, but an animal just like, all right, fair enough, and it takes it. One of the nastiest animal heals I ever had to do was when I was a firefighter. And this was a Shetland pony. Weird little story, but I'm telling you it anyway. Had a fire, turf wars going on between drug gangs. Somebody set fire to an allotment. The big horse died. We rescued the dogs, and there was a Shetland pony running around. And I went, I'll grab it so it doesn't get hurt. And when I got hold of it, somebody had attacked with a Stanley knife and absolutely slashed it to bits. 10 wounds, some of them very long, most of them very deep. So I started doing healing on it. So it was breathing really, really heavily. The blood was squirting out of its wounds. It was really, really stressed, and so I just started to heal it, and it just calmed it down. Stopped fretting. Pulse rate dropped. The breathing calmed down. The blood stopped squirting as much as it was. RSPCA came. We need a vet. Vet came. Examined it, and between me getting hold of the horse and the vet coming, it was about an hour and a half, and I was just tickling his lugs, and every time I stopped, he would notice, because he was quite calm. He was collected, tickling his lugs, nut. So the vet came and she examined 9 of his wounds, And on the 10th wound, she said, I'm sorry, we're going to have to let him go because it slashed the tendons in his back leg. So although it didn't save the horse, I would like to think that last little hour and a half of its life, it was calm, it was collected, it felt loved and wanted. It felt mellow and calm and chilled, and it kind of like it had the best and the worst of humans as such in that last little bit of its life. But unfortunately, he went, and for me that was kind of the straw that brought the camel's back. I'd been a fireman I'd done 32 years, and this was 4 months before I retired, and that was it. I was ready to go. So when my 55th birthday came and I walked out the door, I haven't really thought twice about being a fireman anymore, because that was it. The things I'd seen and done and been involved with, I'd tell you stories that curl your teeth. I've seen things that would make a fly sick, but that just finished me off. Awful. So there you go. Absent distance remote healing is a thing. If you can't get to see us, me and my guides, we can send that energy to you anywhere in the world. We just need to make that connection, have that conversation, send that energy, but it takes twice as many sessions. Animals can receive healing as well. Rescue animals that you are rescuing, anything. You find that most healers we don't judge, we don't discriminate, we'll heal anything, doesn't matter. From my perspective, as a healer, I have healed black, white, yellow, mixed race, Christian, Hindu, Sikh, gay, straight, bisexual, tall, short, fat, thin. Doesn't bother me. I don't care what your belief systems are. You can come and see me and have healing. And animals, I'll heal anything, from horses to dogs to cats to fish. Well, dolphin anyway. Daft little video of this one, but there you go. They all can't be like thought-provoking, big styly ones. So there you go. Any questions? Just want them in the comments. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna say it again. Knowledge is power. The more we know, the more we understand, the less we fear. So thanks for watching, and I'll do another one next week. Okey dokey. See you later, folks.